I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of some of the new and most requested features of Function 365 and iterative improvements to the platform that users have been asking about. The ones we're going to show today mainly impact practitioners, to a degree the reception team, and if I could summarize, it's basically to give you guys more control over the way that the platform works and behaves. Okay. Here we're logged into the practitioner portal. Let's pretend that the patient has forgotten their password. This happens a lot. So let's go choose a poor willing subject. Here we go. So Mr. Test Patient 3. Let's say he's forgotten his password. As you know, if you've already done this before, it's very easy to go into the patient's hub, okay, and then click just here on the send password reset email. That resets the patient's password. Very simple to do that. What that does is it sends the patient a password reset link like the one that just dinged because it's arrived in my inbox. So let's go and grab that. So here is my inbox, and here is the password reset link, which we can go ahead and click on, and I'll bring that up in a new incognito window. Okay, brilliant. So this is what the patient would see. Now, as you can see, it's asking the patient for a new password. What's different is we've added a password strength meter and password strength system to the platform. So you can define in the admin menu the desired password strength that you want for your practice, between weak, fair, strong, very strong, etc. And you can ask the user here when they're putting in their password to reset it. So what we've also provided is a link to a password generator. It's really hard actually to come up with good passwords on your own. So using a password generator is actually really helpful to be able to do that quickly. So I'm just going to do that here. So I'm going to generate a new password. That seems fair enough. I'll copy that, okay, and then just paste it in. There we go. And lo and behold, that is a very strong password. And I'm going to go ahead and change the account password for this user. Okay. So that takes that once they've changed their password, it logs them straight into their portal. Okay. This password strength system applies not just to patients, but also members of your team. It's very important for them too, because their password is what's effectively standing in between an adversary and the patient data in the platform, or one of the elements, but it's an important one. Okay. So you again want your team to have good passwords. So if I go and I show you that on the practitioner portal now, so if I go back to the practitioner portal, they can also reset their password, okay, from here, and those same password strength rules apply to your team as well. So here's the change password under account settings, okay, and you can choose a new password. You need to have your current password, and then choose a new password and confirm that to change your password. Likewise, if you're going to change the email address, you need to have the email address and confirm the current password. And that takes us neatly on to the second area, the second thing that's been added to give better control over the way the platform works. Unsurprisingly, given COVID, virtual appointments have become very popular with lots of different practitioners, some of whom used to do everything in person, and now are doing split or entirely virtual in some cases. So the way to do this is to ask your team, either yourself or indeed other members of the practitioner team, to provide a virtual meeting room link. Okay, this is a static link, okay, which means that it doesn't change between appointment to appointment. If you've not seen this before, here's a good example. Okay, this is my Zoom account. Okay, I'm going to go to the meetings section and go to my personal meeting room. Okay, every user who has a Zoom account, and I'm just using Zoom as an example. You can do this with Google Meet, or you can do it with Doxy, or any other video conferencing platform that you want. The good ones tend to provide what's called an invite link or a static link for a personal meeting room. Okay, this is what F365 passes to your patient when they book a virtual appointment by the appointment confirmation email and the appointment reminder emails. So it's this link which the patient needs, okay, in order to join the meeting. So it's this one here. And then the password as well. We're going to come back to that. So to use this, we just simply copy that, okay, the link, and we can go, sorry, not that one. We go over here and paste it in, okay. And then you also have the ability to provide a password separately. This is important to provide a password and password protect your meetings. And you can do that too. So if you go in here, here is the password for that meeting. So we can also put the password information into the password field for the patient to join the virtual meeting room for that practitioner for a virtual appointment with them. It's also highly recommended, just as a quality of life tip here, to, if you haven't already done this, to make sure that your waiting room is on, the virtual waiting room. There are similar settings across all these platforms to admit the patients one by one, so you don't have patient A and B in your virtual meeting room at the same time. So please do make sure, if you're using Zoom, that you have that feature enabled as well. Okay, going back to the platform. Okay, so that's in the account settings we've been looking at. So password, email address changes, virtual meeting rooms. The other thing that has been updated in the platform, and this is a very popular request, especially from busy multi-practitioner practices, or even busy single practitioner practices, is in the profile section. Okay, there are some new controls here for setting up what level of information you get, push emails that you get from the system. So these are these ones here, okay? We're trying to be very descriptive, okay? And this one is send me an email if a staff member sends me a message in the portal. And as a reminder, that's if you're using the messaging system. These messages are when you send a note to another member of the team. So currently we're logged in as Helga. Let's say we needed to message another practitioner in the practice, say Heather. Heather Wilson is another practitioner here. This will generate a portal message for Heather. And when that portal message is triggered, it also creates a notification email, a push email, which goes to Heather. Now this is fine if you're, if things are quiet in your practice, or relatively quiet, but when you're receiving 10, 15, 20 of these a day, okay, yes, we very much understand that could be a bit of an issue. So that's what these settings allow you to control, is this scenario when a member of your team sends you a message, whether it's practitioner to reception or reception to practitioner, same outcome. That's what these settings allow you to control here. The eagle-eyed of you will have spotted that there's also the ability to control whether or not the system sends you an email if the patient sends you a message. Okay, so this is from the patient portal, which we were looking at earlier. So here's in the patient portal. This will allow us to turn off being sent an email notification if a patient sends you a message. Okay. Both of these you can now do in the system. That's how you do this from the practitioner's view. So Helga here can control her settings as a practitioner in the practice. You can also control this across the board from your admin menu as well for these same two settings, and I'll show you that just now. So if you go into your admin menu, so I have the tab open, but I'll just open it again here. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Okay, so here's the admin menu for the practice. Okay, the settings for these push email notifications are here under patients and practitioners. We'll go into that, and what this will do is it will list all of the members of staff with active accounts, okay, in the platform. So that's what those settings are. So if I'll show you briefly, if I turn these off, okay, and I go back into the admin menu and refresh the page, as you can see, Helga will not be receiving emails, okay, when a member of staff sends her sends her a message, and the same thing with the patient. Okay, and if you need to control this for the whole practice, you can do that from here. Simply check the boxes as appropriate and click save. Done. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and why don't we go ahead and turn those back on again and click save. And as you can see, when we go back here into the practitioner side, check our profile settings. These are now on again. Simple, but very important for lots of different practices who are using the platform.